and just levitate.
The ingredients to make those delicious Hawaiian rolls are as follows. We are going to need 1 tablespoon of yeast, 2 tablespoons of warm water, must be between 110 to 115 degrees warmed. We're going to need 3/4 cup of brown sugar. We need 6 ounces of butter, which is a bar and a half. Teaspoon of salt. We also need 1/4 cup of warm milk, also between 110 to 115 degrees warmed. We need 2 large eggs at room temperature, and then I have another extra egg for the egg wash that goes on top. We need a 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla extract, 3/4 cup of crushed pineapple, and between 3 to 4 cups of all-purpose flour. And then for the egg wash, like I said, I'm going to use 1 egg and then 2 tablespoons of milk. So we're pretty much just gonna whisk that together well, and then we're gonna brush it with the with the baking brush on top after the rolls have risen and everything. So let's get started with the process. First of all, in a bowl, I am going to add my water and my yeast, and then I'm just going to mix it, and we're going to let this activate for about 5 minutes. Here I have my warm water. I'm going to throw in my tablespoon of yeast. You can mix it just a little bit. Okay, just leave it there so that it activates about 5 minutes. Okay, in another bowl, we're gonna add our milk. So we're gonna set this aside just to let it activate. We're gonna add our milk. We're gonna cut this in pieces, and then we're gonna add our sugar, our salt. The sugar and our salt. All this is going to go in a bowl. Okay. So first goes the milk. Then the butter. You want to chop it into pieces because we are going to microwave this. Then you're gonna toss in your sugar. And your teaspoon of salt. Now at this point, we're going to microwave it for 1 minute. So after I microwave it 1 minute, I will show you. So once I microwaved it for 1 minute, you're gonna wanna get a whisk and just whisk it together. Make sure it's all incorporated in there and the butter has melted. I let it cool just a little bit because I'm going to add the eggs in here, and if it's too hot, it'll pretty much cook your egg, and you don't want that to happen. So that's pretty good. I let it cool. Now we're gonna throw in our 2 eggs in here. And our ½ teaspoon of vanilla. And we're going to slightly whisk this. Right there. And now we're going to go to our mixer and we're going to start incorporating all this together. So in the bowl of our stand mixer, we are going to incorporate, this is our yeast, which has activated. You're gonna throw your mixture in there. And we're going to add the 3/4 cup of crushed pineapple. That's 1/4. Two-fourths. Okay, 3/4. Now what we're gonna do is we're going to mix this in just a little bit before we add the flour. Now we're going to start adding our flour. What I do is I get the cup. This is 1 cup. I have a knife. To level it, I just level it like this. So this is 1 cup. I'm going to add 2 cups to begin with, and then I'll add more from there as I need it. So let me add another one. This will make 3 cups. You may not need the 4 cups. If this is too sticky, the other cup that's left, I'm going to just slowly be adding it until I get the dough that I want. You don't want it too sticky, but you don't want it too dry either. So once I have that incorporated, I will show you. So after you've incorporated all your flour, I ended up using 4.5 cups. You can either take it out of the stand mixer and knead it for 8 to 10 minutes, or just leave it in the stand mixer and use your kneading tool right here to knead it 8 minutes. So I'm just going to use this. I'm going to leave it in here for 8 minutes. After 8 minutes, I'm going to take it out and put it in a bowl. In a bowl, what you're going to do is add oil. I always use extra virgin olive oil. You're going to just spread it all around. And then we're going to get our ball of dough. We're going to get our dough. We're just going to stick it in there. And we are going to let this rest in a warm place for an hour and a half. So just flip it over, making sure that everything gets oiled up. Cover it with plastic wrap, and we'll see you in about an hour or 2. Okay, so once our dough has been in our microwave rising, I did leave it for 2 hours because after an hour it wasn't that risen. So 2 hours was good for me. And then what I did was I sprayed my pan with this. I'm gonna set that aside. And then I got my egg with my 2 tablespoons of milk. Then I'm mixing it together. I'm gonna set that aside. And then here we're gonna put a little bit of flour. And we're going to divide our dough into 12 pieces. Okay, so first you're going to want to punch it down. Then turn it over onto your floured surface. You can do more pieces if you make it smaller. I'm gonna go for 12 pieces. Actually, I might make more because it looks like I can get more out of it. So I got 2, 4, 6, 8. So I'm gonna end up probably getting 16 pieces out of this. Okay, now what we're gonna do, you can also make this into a loaf. So now what we do, we get our dough, and then we're pretty much just going to make it into a ball. Then we're going to close it from the bottom. Turn it, and you got your ball right there. And then just place it on your baking sheet. And then just continue to do that with the rest of them. Once you have your rolls in your baking dish, what we're going to do is brush the tops with the egg wash. And that's it. Make sure that your oven is preheated to 350. These are not going to need another rise. We're just going to bake them like this. Okay, so these are going to go in the oven, and I'll show you what they look like when they're ready. So after they have been baking, I think I left them 20 minutes, but it could be up to 25 minutes. What I'm going to do, I melted a little bit of butter. And then I'm just going to add a little bit of butter on top. And that's it. Those are your Hawaiian rolls. Okay, enjoy.